Dang! Paul Tassi may have just kicked the bee's nest. Let's jump in and see what it's all about. That's right, scholars. It's Mr. Gaming Counselor, and yeah. Boys and gentle ladies, scholars, welcome to the counselor's office. We are talking about a topic that's actually really surprising, but before we do, we have to get to we have to do the thing. I gotta pull it up. He's breaking. You're failing. Okay, there we go. We can do it. Comment of the day. Let's do it.
Comment of the day. Yeah. Gotta get that comment of the day. Yeah.
Comment of the day. That's right. Here we go. Mufasa Gem talks. 7 anti-marathon videos in 10 days. I'm good on your opinions. So we got the marathon podcast. Gang, come on down. Let's go. Let's look at it. So we got our podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the session where we're going to educate you on numbers and being able to count. So let's count it together, gang. Let's teach Mufasa how to count. We got 1. This is marathon. 1 marathon. 2, talk about Bungie and their safe space. 3, this was about an IGN review about an entirely different game called Mouse PI. Then this was the, 3, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 with the Asmongold, call out of the Bungie ball fondler. Then 5, which is Lost, Fallout New Vegas. 6, which is did the dev review, or the dev live stream for Warframe. 7, which is talking about DMG. It had nothing to do about a specific marathon. So let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which was Destiny. 9, which is Warframe. So that's 2. Are you counting Mufasa? That's 2. Then 3, which is Pragmata. And then if we go over here, it wasn't 3. This is we got another one. It's about Bungie again, but it had nothing to do with Marathon. Pragmata. Again, Destiny content creator. And then we're back to more Marathon. Holy shit. Oh, and then Destiny. And then Marathon. So, how many did you count? Gang, count with me. How many videos out of 10 was that? What, do you see 2? Did you see 2? Gang, you saw 2? Only 2 actual Marathon videos? Wow. So tell me, what does that make Mufasa Gem talks? Say it with me, gang. A retard.
Tactical nuke incoming!
That was accidental. This is what I meant to push.
Uh-oh, retard alert. Retard alert, class.
I'm sorry. People that just don't want to hear any criticism or anything about Marathon are just genuine retards. I'm going to say it right now. 90% of people who don't want to hear any kind of criticism are just true blood-born retards. You can't make this shit up. Talking about it, we talked about Paul Tassi the other day. I mean, actually yesterday. And now he has caused even more. Debate erupts over Bungie's new Merida versus original trilogy. Just he said, let's just read what he said. I think getting into debates about the finer points of the original 1994 marathon with people born in the year 2000 is going to make people call it a day on here. By the way, he's calling out millennials. Actually, no, not even. Is that millennial? No, I don't know that. I don't think that's even millennial, right? By the way, he's right. I think the gamers after 2000, like a large portion of the gamer population, has become incredibly stupid. Like, being born at around 2000 is where people's intelligence went downhill, because most of us were growing up and we were like, in high school, college, we were 2010, stuff like that. Like, but being born around 2000 and even now, like, gamers are just stupid. And so I understood exactly what he was implying, and I'm taking a notch up. And of course, the people, guess what? All the Bungie bots who were born in 2000s are upset. I didn't realize I should have been born to be able to give my opinion on the original Marathon trilogy. Yes, if you're going to sit there and criticize Paul Tassi comparing the old Marathon to the new Marathon, which, by the way, is nothing at all the same. It's not. It's not at all. Like, I'm trying to find it here. You want to see what original gameplay of Marathon look like? Man, does this look like the new Marathon at all? Like, besides the fact that it's like Wolfenstein, right, style? No, it's gritty. It's mechanical. It looks nothing. Even the guns. The guns are literally, this is like side scroll, not side scroller, but this is like Wolfenstein style, and even it has better looking fucking weapons than modern Marathon. Like the whole vibe, the color. Guys, did you see all the rainbows? Did you see how glowy and green and you know, bright as fuck this game is? No, it's militaristic, it's gritty, it's sci-fi. It doesn't look like, you know, a unicorn vomited on it. Like, like it's not the fucking same. It's not. Anyways, people are really upset. Has Paul actually played the OG trilogy? Have you? Buddy doesn't know just how similar the original Marathon games are to the new Marathon. You know what? I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play the old Marathon and then highlight. I want to snapshot these clips. And then as I'm playing the old one, be like, huh, looks nothing like the new one. Yes, I played it, but you're describing literally like 1,000 games. Yeah, as you can tell, he went at war. By the way, Paul made the mistake. Never challenge, and here's the reality, never challenge people on Twitter, especially Bungie bros, unless you're gonna be able to farm them like the little piggies they are. Like, if you're gonna pull a Bungie and farm them like little piggies, then it makes complete sense. Pop off. But he's not getting paid. He's not making video like he is making. I think we're about to react to a video in his response, but he's not like going through Twitter. And it's funny, like, it gets worse. This is why I like doing my Twitter stuff. This is what you have to see. People who complain about Marathon not being made for them are the same people whose knowledge of Bungie's history starts with Halo 2 and ends with Destiny 2. So 20 years being a fan doesn't count. Come on. People have a right to voice an opinion if they dislike something from a studio. If you're alluding to Paul, his video was fair. It's his personal take. He's frustrated. I have not seen Paul's video, nor do I really care to. It's always the fucking retards, and it's always like the anime. It's close enough to anime, cartoonish. It's always with the fucking retards. Holy shit. Guy, I ain't watching a video, but I'm gonna make a general opinion that if you've played games, Bungie games, for 20 years, you can't have an opinion. No, you shouldn't have an opinion, you dumb bitch. This is weird, dumb thing to say. You're saying people who played Bungie games for 21 years aren't knowledgeable on Bungie? That's incredibly idiotic. The other day, I saw someone say that Bungie was originally an Xbox studio, and they could have been making more Halo. It was, you dumb bitch. It literally, they got bought by Microsoft. They were originally a Microsoft company. Sure, they start out with Myth and all that jazz, and they were bought by Microsoft. They were like their own little studio for a while. They couldn't survive. They got bought by Microsoft, becoming a Microsoft brand studio. In fact, literally, I would say Microsoft made Bungie, and Bungie also made Microsoft. Let's not get that clear. Or get that mixed up. Halo literally put Microsoft on the map outside of, you know, PC, right? Xbox putting it on the map. Let's be honest here. Bungie made a product that put Xbox on the fucking map. There could be two truths, but it absolutely was an Xbox studio. It was bought up. It's this little indie no-name studio that no one gave a fuck about. And it wasn't really until Halo came along that really people gave a shit, right? But of course, you know, I'm gonna call it out, man. And then you gotta know when you call out one of the the losers, the other ones have comments to say, "Look, y'all, the biggest loser on YouTube is baiting for engagement," and yet people know me. It's always the nobodies that, you know, Mr. Failed Analyst. There's a reason why you're a former analyst. See, people will, if something happens in a marathon, people will still remember me, Mr. Cool Runner Craig. Whereas for you, people will remember me, but people will remember you as much as a college football player remembers their cum sock. That's your existence. You're as memorable as a cum sock. But good job. Be upset. Stay mad, kid. But I'm more successful than you are. Wrong video too. There we go. We're looking at this video about Paul Tassi. The split between personal tastes, exploration of challenges, and hard, cold facts about marathon, which people don't want to hear. They don't want to hear them gold hard facts. That's right. They don't want to hear it. So let's see what Paul Tassi has to say. By the way, I just want to make it very clear that one guy said I had 7 out of 10 days videos were marathon. Well, it's about to be that way just to piss you the fuck off, little pay piggy.
All right, I'm back with a new video to discuss yet another controversy I have found myself embroiled in. I am talking about, of course, my criticism of seeded grapes, and when I said that only psychopaths would eat those, which resulted in hundreds of comments calling me not masculine, and also that I'm poisoning my body because
you know that all the people that were projecting their frustration of Paul and what he said about marathon onto the grapes. I have never seen a stupider community than the Bungie community, because you know that they projected because of grapes. That's how you know how fucking stupid, how low IQ, how, you know, Brokeback Mountain, I kiss my cousin intellectual level these people are, that they are angry about a game and then they attack Paul because of his statement on fucking grapes.
I don't eat seeded grapes. Yeah, that was actually the biggest controversy of the week for me on Twitter. God, I love Twitter.
Yes,
but
I
obviously
do too.
Most of it had to do with the video that I did last week
There
about how just personally.
By the way, can I just point out that he's slowly transforming into Gordon Freeman?
Fundamentally, I wish that Marathon was a game that I wanted to play after 25 years of wanting to play Bungie games that are really cornerstones of my entire gaming experience. And it makes me sad that this did end up being something that I just don't fundamentally enjoy that much. Let me tell you, there is nothing Marathon players hate more than when you say something like, I wish this game was something else or something else that I wanted.
They also hate any kind of criticism. They hate any criticism at all, which is why the community, their own community, is killing itself. That's why the game is dying, not just because of how the game is, because the community fucking sucks dick. The Marathon community is one of the worst communities in the gaming industry, because you'll never see anyone who's more gatekeepy, more toxic, more anti-criticism, more go place. And by the way, a lot of them come from Destiny, so that explains it 1000%, because you can't, anytime you say you criticize something, it's go play something else or get good. In most cases, it's people are just telling you go play something else. And guess what? We saw this in Destiny too. You think these morons would, ding, 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 ding. Oh, well, they left Destiny. Wow, I guess they'll leave Marathon. The community's dying. I wonder how that happened. It's the hate. it's the Twitter Steam charts are killing the game. No one's want to play our Steam charts. They're turning the frogs gay.
Among the other criticisms that were very colorful, I was called anti-art for this, for stepping on
Anti-art. That is anti-art is literally turn the frogs gay. Just as retarded as that statement is, that is the same stupidity of this is anti-art. I almost think that people who use it's anti-art as an excuse for why games can't improve or criticizing how Marathon is, these are people that dropped out of high school because they thought they could be an artist. And like, I make arts and I sell it on Temu and I get so much money. I got $30 on my Temu portraits. I don't have a GED, but I don't need it for my art. I'm an artistic person. The stupidest people. Bitch, video games, sure, do make art. And yes, in some regard, can be considered art. But they're a product first because they're supposed to be sold. No one gives a fuck about someone's artistic style if it doesn't sell.
Bungie's artistic vision of a multiplayer extraction shooter as a way to carry on the franchise. I don't know. I just wanted to talk a little bit more about this. And I think if you take this sort of on the surface level, and if we're just doing these little quotes about how, if I want something different, that makes me so entitled, that makes me anti-art.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I'm doing the caveat here, like I really tried to, that I understand that this is a selfish position, and I'm just trying to kind of explain, what's going on.
No. What's selfish is that you open your mouth. See, they don't give a shit that you said right up front, this is my opinion. I know it's selfish. This is what I think about the game, and the game's good. Like, you could say all that jazz. The moment you say anything negative, you're in the wrong. You're in the wrong, which is why I said the Marathon community is the worst community in gaming history, maybe close to like League. I mean, it's damn near close. League is fucking toxic as fuck.
In my own mind, and I did see that resonated with a number of people, especially here. A lot of comments were positive in saying that, but also that there is a stark difference between my personal opinion on the game and its genre and how I cover it in terms of reporting on it, as these are separate issues. And like on top of all this, like I'm not demanding that Bungie do something or change the genre, or I mean,
he clearly said Marathon's not for me. I wish it was, but it's not. Like, I don't know what point people thought, damn, he's trying to make Bungie change shit. That's not what he said. That's the fan fiction bullshit you came up with your mind, because that's how a lot of people, in fact, I would say 80% of the gaming audience feels that way about Marathon, and it pisses you off because you want to live in your grand delusion and you need self-validation that it's everyone else that's the problem and not you.
Pissed at them that they dared do this. I'm just kind of expressing that, like, I'm just sort of bummed about the whole thing, because, after 10, 11 years, I was hoping to get really into another Bungie project, but almost as soon as I heard it was an extraction shooter, like, I knew this day was probably coming.
Yeah.
But this is also not discounting people liking it. I'm not telling people not to like it. I'm saying that this is my personal view, and I do think that view resonates with more than a few people.
I would say 80% of the gaming audience. Yeah, and you can tell by the actual player count and the sales, this game has worse sales than other indie games do. Like, that says everything. And the fact that there's an entire half of the world that doesn't want to fucking touch Marathon. Like, everyone wants to say that this game was made for America. Oh my God, it was made, like, no. Yes, because every game company specifically targets just one side of the world. They have no care about sales. Fuck, China and Japan and all these other places where they have massive amounts of gaming population. Fuck them all. America, baby. I didn't know that Bungie was America first. Man, maybe Bungie really is MAGA.
judging by, the initial, how many people wanted to show up and play, how much retention there's been, which maybe has to do with both the genre, but also how it's presented and plays out. But yeah, what I do take offense to is people saying that my personal view that I'm just not really, super excited about how this went down is why I'm reporting about facts on the game, which are facts like it did not debut with very good numbers in the context
which is factually true. It made horrible sales. It has a horrible demographic. Being only one fucking side of the world is awful
what
for
it
gaming.
should have.
You want a good representation when the whole world gets involved? Crimson Desert, Slay the Spire, Resident Evil fucking evil, baby. And yes, these are single player missions, but I'm intentionally trying not to say Arc Raiders, but just to be even more fair, Delta Force, which is also an extraction shooter, which you'll never see a damn Bungie marathon bot ever mention, because that would dissolve the delusion that they live in that, only people want casual. They just want casual extraction shooters. Arc Raiders is the only bitch. Marathon has a competition directly with Delta Force, and it's shitting bricks on Marathon.
This was a new Bungie shooter for the first time in 10 years, and it didn't debut in the top 10 of Steam. It has
legendary
lost
company, by the way,
essentially 20% of at least its concurrence every single weekend. Like it's slowing down, but that's because if you keep losing 20% with smaller numbers, it does kind of slow down and start to level out at least a little bit. That's how math works, right? Yeah.
You know what? Let's just show the kids at home. It has yet to hit a floor. Now, he's right. Like, it dropped significantly, but now you're starting to see it creep. But we have yet, here we are, the 24-hour peak. We have actually hit, so let's see, Monday of last week, 17K, and now we're at 13. The floor, we have yet to hit a floor. And guess what? Data matters because it shows interest. It shows that people are leaving the game. Is it because I'm showing Steam charts? Oh shit, I showed a Steam chart. 30K people are now gonna leave. Holy shit. Look what I did. I just cost Bungie more players. They're gonna leave. God, I hate fucking stupid people so much. That's not how that
overall
works.
Players are going down as well. I don't know if it's that exact amount, but and then I have internal reporting, internal sources that are very clear about.
Yeah, cool, Runner Craig. Where's your inside sources? You and your trust me, bro, data that you just made complete bullshit because you're a former analyst. I love that guy because he was like, this is some fake bullshit, essentially. Everyone trying to just say that Paul's just using trust me, bro. Bro has inside information. You are literally some no-named no-name anime cat bullshit profile pic on Twitter. Shut the fuck up.
This is not some wild success. This is, developers are sort of, head down on this and continuing new content, which is great. There's a story that they have roadmap for story planned out for years. But in terms of like what this was supposed to be, how it's being, viewed internally in terms of its performance and what it needed to do and what the goals are going forward and what the actual numbers are like for, both public and then private, these are just facts. And reporting on these, especially in the larger context of the industry and how many multiplayer games are debuting and performing. And this lies somewhere between, a hit and a disaster. There's a very wide range between Arc Raiders probably quadrupling what anyone thought it would do at launch, and then Concord shutting down after 2 weeks. Marathon is, perhaps somewhere in the middle, but I think it's still on the not amazing side because it needed to do better than it is, and it needs to.
I have seen the cope, like I've seen cope from several accounts saying We don't know what Sony wanted. Yes, because Sony spent $3.6 billion and about $300 million on a game just for it to be a niche of a niche of a niche, but also have some of the lowest player counts. Like, the only success that PlayStation has had recently with live service is Helldivers, and they damn near try to kill that. And they have not seen any success since then. Like, they want so desperately put their hands in the greedy cookie jar, and yet there's no way that they intended for a Marathon to just be a small little cookie. They expected it to be a big fucking cookie, and it did not become a big cookie. It was like a mini cookie.
Figure out how to stop losing players and reverse course. One thing, I really try to separate out at this point reporting on the game. Like, I did initial, like, this is, review type stuff. Like, this is how it feels for me as a non-extraction player. Like, this is my experience. But as my playtime has gone down and down, I'm not, like, reporting my personal views on,
he's not.
This weapon is awful. This needs to be balanced. Like, I know what is being said in the community, but I am not actively reviewing the game. And like, people were even calling my last video like a review when it is not that.
If you thought that he was giving a review, you might be a retard.
At all. It's just a very strange situation where I feel like a lot of people are getting very defensive about this, and more and more and more over time. I understand that there has been this like really intense persecution of Marathon that is involved into something that is very annoying. You can say I'm the progenitor of all the Steam chart stuff, but I am not spamming Steam charts on every single reply to every single tweet that involves Marathon.
First off, Paul had nothing to do with that. People have been doing that for years. People just love to use Marathon as an excuse, and even Highguard when it came out. But people have been looking at Steam charts for years. For years. How I could probably look up some Destiny videos where we reacted to Steam charts. And other people have reacted to Steam charts. Like, this is not the first time. And here's the reality. Actually, I'm going to hold my tongue. I'll let him speak a little bit more before I say anything, and just to see if he mentions if we have the same train of thought. And I was going to say that it's all data, that it's useful data to look and see how things are playing out, especially as a consumer, to show you're voicing your opinion on things. But I agree that there are a lot of accounts that are just spamming shit. Like, there's me who I intentionally make fun of the people. That's the videos. I make fun of the unhinged Marathon bots. And I know there's some people that do intentionally try to piss those people off. And pop off. They probably fucking deserve it. But when people are having genuine conversations about Marathon, it's like, come on. Like, you can post stuff and talk about stuff. And yes, there's a bunch of fucking idiots that you can. And I do it too. Like, let's be honest. If we go to like, we go, obviously I piss people off because that's why they're tweeting me. Like, I obviously do. I call people out and their stupid bullshit, especially LARPers, Bungie bots trying to use other games. Like, hell, I called out people trying to say Halo Reach. People said Halo Reach was woke, like Marathon. You got literal LARPers trying to say that, Warframe and all this shit. Like, I call these people out because they deserve to be called out. These are people that aren't just, having a conversation. They're intentionally spewing bullshit and lies. This is a wrong video. We'll come back to that later. Bullshit and lies. That's a this different story. You definitely should call those people out. But people are having genuine conversations or just talking about, like, their time out there enjoying the game. Like, you don't need to spam charts on it. Like, come on. Like, it's okay to be an asshole to the assholes, but you don't need to be a dickhead to everyone.
Again, I've said many times, those are actual numbers. Like, it's not made up stuff. I get that you can present them annoyingly, but to say it should not be used at all to measure the health of a game, especially a live service game that is trying to.
My camera, it does this thing where it flicks on, flicks off. Yeah, so that's an important statement here. The health of the game. People look at the health of the game to determine, one, if it's worth investing in, and two, in a lot of cases, if the player base is shrinking, that also is indicative of the game itself. In this case, the community, the sandbox is awful, and you can see it because the community is tearing itself up about the sandbox and about how, I mean, you see content creators, Astacross, gone. iFrostball, gone. Maddox, gone. Hell, I don't know if Scaro's still fondling the balls of this game. So many content creators, Shroud, gone. How many people were literally glazing this game and now have jumped ship because of multiple reasons of issues that are going on in the game? And sure, you could say, well, maybe Bungie can fix that. I don't know. Not my job to figure that out. All I know is that when you look at the data and you see so many people fucking leaving the game, it tells you, okay, now's not the time to play. I'm not going to play this because if no one else is playing this, there's a good reason. In this case, the data correlates the fact that the sandbox is awful and there's other issues, especially a toxic gatekeeping community that is trying to, remove people who would be interested and have their feedback essentially stripped and nullified because you have the 1%ers that want this to be, masochist central, which granted, track shooters are for masochists. Let's get that straight. No normal human being plays track shooters and have all their time wasted. It's because you have the pleasure principle. We are if you play, and I play track shooters too, so I'm slightly masochistic, I guess. I'll be the first one to say that, but let's just be honest. Let's call it what it is.
Retain players over time is ridiculous. I know Bungie itself looks at those numbers, and those are, even the people I talk to are like, that's very obviously data. This is a number that people can look at, and it's presenting a narrative that is not amazing, and just because it's inconvenient does not make it less true.
Guys, I'm going to complain about people looking at data and bitch about it, that you are talking about it. It's so negative. I'm tired about the negativity. Well, if there was something positive to be said about the data, then you would say it. Who would have thought when things look negative, they might be negative and the sky might be blue? Well, unless you're, you're blind or you're just stupid. It's like you're blind, fault of your own. But if you're just stupid and you're like, what's the sky?
I've also tried to talk about, the other kind of larger player count numbers, sales numbers. There was just this report that 2.2 million players played in its first month. Whoa. I know for a fact that is not sales.
Yes, that's not sales. And God, you know when people are like, oh my God, 2 million played it. How many of those shared accounts? How many? Those are not sales. And where are the sales at, Bungie?
It is, the number of players played can vary by account, but I also believe that counted a good amount of service line players, because the first day and a half of the month was still a ton of free players playing the game, and obviously those did not all convert over. And I know for a fact that it is not near that 2.2 million mark. So I said that, and I'm not saying that because I wish Marathon was something else. These are disparate things, and
man, what happens when you report facts? Well, people that live in La La Land, the perfect way to think about Marathon fanboys is that they are the flat earthers of the gaming community. They believe the world is flat. It doesn't matter how much data you show. It doesn't matter how much evidence and logic you put out. They will continue to think that the planet is still flat. Marathon fanboys and Bungie fanboys in general are literally flat earthers. You can't fix stupid. You can make fun of it, but you definitely can't fix it.
I find it difficult to kind of do what I do and be how I am sometimes, because I have always tried to do both opinion and news, and that can sort of blend the lines sometimes. Like if full opinion is like a review of a game. There's no such thing as an objective review of the game because that is not the point of a review of a game. They are always going to be subjective. And then there is like just hard, flat news reporting, like these are the numbers, see you later. And then there's a blend of, these are the numbers and this is not good for this reason. And, what is the potential like good ideas for fixing it, or what are some bad things they've done? It's a blend. But to say that there's this full gap of like how I feel about marathon or action shooters on one hand
let's get this out of the way. The reason why people are trying to put him in this bucket is then it discounts anything he says. They're trying to make it sound like everything he's said informational wise is just his opinion. They're trying to make it to where, hey, this is just his opinion. We've shown that's opinion. So now we can ignore anything this guy says. And they hate it. They hate Paul Tassi. The marathon fanboys hate because he has inside sources. He's giving information that immediately debunks their arguments, that literally crushes their illusional flat earth, mentality, that literally jeopardizes their self-validation, circle jerk, My Little Pony, corner of the internet. I don't know, because most of them are anime or animal cat pictures, or they're literal Bungie bots accounts that were made this year. Like nothing, you could literally look at some of these accounts and they're made in 2026. You're like, this is a bot.
To do with why I'm reporting the numbers accurately of how the game is doing and in the context of what it needs to do. I think that's bullshit. So I wanted to kind of call that out. Yeah. Also, I think people have short memories where I also critique things I like. Everyone's like, go back to Destiny, which, maybe I will once there's anything to do in Destiny. But yeah, I've been critiquing Destiny for a million years to the point where everyone says I'm too negative about that too. But that is obviously a game and a series I love. So just because you are negative also doesn't mean like you don't see anything redeeming about a game. Like in Marathon's case, I've said many times that I think it's a good game.
I cannot believe that some of these people love to ignore that when Marathon first came out, Paul Tassi was on the bandwagon for it, and people literally called him a shill. Like, he was called a shill. Even I made certain videos calling out some of his statements. Like, bro, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, this is like, listen, you don't have to agree with Paul, and you can also be upset that he kind of flip-flops, because he definitely does. He's done it in Destiny too. But, people are trying to literally make him feel like he's the reason why Marathon is failing financially or in general, and he's not. Just like the dudes posting Twitter pictures of the Steam charts aren't killing the game. The dumbasses playing the game are the ones that are killing the game. Not the average Joes. The average Joes, I feel bad for them. It's just the people that are that open their mouths that kill it.
I think it's a good game that is not for me specifically, but I recognize what it brings to the genre. I recognize, the creativity it's trying to insert into the space and why it does appeal to a lot of, higher end, harder core players. Obviously, there's many balance issues and stuff once you get up to the top there and cheaters and things, but I think it is a significant addition to the genre in a way that is creative and that we haven't seen before. And playing it, I do also think, over time, that it does feel like a pretty good Bungie shooter within the constraints of Extraction, and I think the hero idea was not.
I just want to make it clear. I said Marathon was average. I think it feels more like an early access indie game, but that I didn't say it was trash. Even when I played it, like I was laughing. I was in a good time with the open beta. Like I had fun with it. Like I'm not gonna lie, I had fun with it. But that doesn't mean that it was good. It doesn't mean it was the best thing ever. It was just an okay average game. Like, you can play and enjoy an average game. Like, I feel like either it's ass or it's cash. Like, it's one or the other. And I know I sometimes meme and I'll make a thumbnail saying ass or cash. Sometimes you could be right down the middle, which again, people were telling me like, well, that's not good for a AAA legendary, studio like Bungie. You're not wrong, but that doesn't mean you still can't have fun with it.
Disaster that people thought it would be. Like, I've done this before. One thing that still gets brought up is like, oh, he didn't like Baldur's Gate 3. It's like, yeah, I didn't
for it either.
But because it's just a TTRPG and I just don't like that style of game, but that is a game I recognize that it is very good because
holy shit, even I did that too. I'm like, I don't like Baldur's Gate. I'm gonna be honest, Baldur's Gate looks incredibly boring. It looks like something I would fall asleep trying to play. But I know it is one of the best games, and it was probably one of the best games when it comes to representing what gamers want. Even though it's not for me, it did so much for the gamer. Like, it would benefit me long term because we got more games like that, but also in genres that I wanted to see. That's a net positive. Whereas Marathon, there was nothing really there that was like, yeah, we want to see this in other parts of the industry. No, we're good. You know, you can keep that, and it's a little niche of a niche. It's all good, bro.
Like, very clearly for what it is and for what they were, trying to build with that game, it works amazingly well and people love it. And like, I get why that would be the case, but there is a difference between.
I just realized that Paul talks really slow. I know. I just realized how much time is there. Like I've never actually tried to play. I'm gonna do times. Let's go a little faster.
I mean, understanding why something is made of high quality or why people like it in
That's
your
better.
own personal tastes. And I think I have been trying to be pretty clear
Holy shit! He sounds like he's talking normal now.
that with Marathon, but I don't know. A lot of people read thumbnails or titles or don't watch the video, which I don't know. They're kind of long videos, so I guess I don't.
No, people don't like. We did the comment of the day. People don't pay attention to anything. They just post random bullshit because they're upset that you spoke the truth.
Fully blame people, but it's just a little tiring, I'd say. At times, I have been an advocate for Marathon. Like I said, I've written whole articles about how I think it's very good, how I think Sony should and needs to continue to support it, even if it is currently underperforming. I do not think this is a game that they should shut down.
By the way, my videos are 40 minutes long sometimes. You should absolutely put me on times 2 to get through my shit faster. Absolute fucking lutely. You should. Please do. You'll go from 40 to 20 minutes times 2 that shit.
Like, because it's lost 70% of players or whatever pretty quickly. I think it needs work. I've said in this whole conversation, I think a good comparison potentially is what happened with Rainbow Six Siege, which launched badly to the point where that could have been shut down early too, but they did a ton of overhauls to that. And
yeah, but the difference is that I think it's a perfect example of that is more of a modern military, so it had more leeway versus like something like Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, which was Call of Duty in space, which is essentially what Marathon is. It's an extraction shooter, but in space. That was one of the most hated Call of Duties of all time. I think it holds one of the worst YouTube videos and trailers announcement. It was so hated. I remember out of all the years of me, being in electronics and selling shit and selling video games, we had so many copies of Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. It took like 3 years to finally get rid of it. And that's after we marked them down to like $5. And that's kind of where that's pretty much where Marathon's at. You get to a certain point where people want to talk about innovation. The truth is people don't really give a shit about innovation. It's nice when it's tasteful and it's unique. People will bitch about it saying this is not innovating, but they will still play. People still play Call of Duty and they will spend their money the same shit. The only people that really have issues is the microtransaction slop. But people will continue to buy Call of Duty. They'll continue to buy the same shit because as long as it's good enough for them, they don't give a shit about innovation. That's the truth. And you may not like it, but that's the reality. That's why certain games pop off, even though you feel like, well, that's just the same game we've had for years. Yeah, I heard it for like Crimson Desert. And Crimson Desert takes other mechanics that we've had for years and put it together, and it's still an amazing game that sold a shit ton, and it's still selling copies. Guess what? It doesn't need to be innovative to be good.
Elevated it into a game that is still very successful to this day. That is a path, I think, that is the best example of how this could turn around. There are obviously many, many different factors. It's an entirely different industry now, way more competition in the space, way higher costs, totally different genre that, may or may not have its own appeal, no matter what you change. But I do think that is a good path forward. But nobody remembers this stuff. They remember my most negative articles or my most negative opinions, and like people only kind of remember the last thing they saw. So I don't know. I just wanted to make a little bit of a clarification video where I stand by everything I said in the last video. I'm just trying to enjoy it. I have enjoyed it for a time. I don't have the time to invest in this, and B, how the game is performing. And like, I don't care if there's people being annoying about this. Like, I think those guys suck, and it's turned into like kind of a right-wing culture war thing where it's failing because it's woke for some
it's whatever, right? Everyone's gonna have their opinion,
inexplicable reason. But that is separate from the actual.
I've given up. Like, I'm not in tune with the DEI woke stuff. Like, there's a couple of games where I've like, okay, that's woke as shit. And that was like the Reloaded game. But that's because I literally watched a black guy play the game. And we both had the same thought when they talked about stealing and shit like that. Like, that's racist as fuck. We both said the same thing. I was like, okay, this is woke trash. This is DEI. This is awful. The most racist shit I've seen. And it deserves to fail. Like, that was probably one of the few moments I've ever saw and thought, you know what, this really is DEI. This is woke. One of the very few, and I'm not gonna preach against people saying it. Like, I don't actually give a shit. I see there's multiple instances of people trying to force feed bullshit into a game. Yes, but that's not my fight. My fight is the corpo greed. I will let the DEI wokes, anti-wokesters be there. I am the anti-greedy corpo. That's my lane. I'm going to stay in it. Respect to you for doing what you want to do and what you believe in. I'm not going to discourage you, but I'm going to say it again. I'm going to stay in my lane.
Real numbers and real problems that exist with the game, even if the game is very good. And I do agree with a lot of the people saying that, for this genre, for what it is probably one of the best new shooters to come along in a very long time. And maybe some people who could like it aren't giving it enough of a chance. But many solutions to that. Are they going to go free to play?
That wouldn't work.
Said I don't think they should, and I don't really know if that would be helpful. But hey, it is what Rainbow Six did, so we'll see.
Wait, what? Rainbow Six is free to play. Oh, that explains the freaking trans slop. Okay, that came out really fucking wrong. The microtransaction slop. Holy shit. That, don't take out of context what I just said. The microtrans slop is what I said. Oh, fuck it. Microtransaction slop. I'm trying to find abbreviation, and I'm just looking like a dumbass.
So there will be plenty more to talk about. I'm not making a video every 48 hours about player count numbers. It's still not good, but I think that's pretty obvious at this point, and I think we're going to need to wait. I think Sony earnings is this week, so that's going to be a big moment if they address the game, which I think they have to, because it is its biggest new multiplayer offering in a sea of things that have underperformed that aren't named Helldivers 2. But Sony owns Bungie and paid a ton of money for Bungie, unlike Helldivers Arrowhead. So those are my sort of follow-up thoughts here.
I'm going to close up. I agree. By the way, I really didn't know that Rainbow Six was free to play. I feel like that's a death sentence for certain games, is when it's free to play. But I guess, Rainbow Six doing? I'll Google that later, see how it's doing. But I don't see why people, like, I get they don't like to hear negativity. And if you want to live in your negative bubble, then just mute Paul. It's crazy that people don't just mute or block him and move on. But the reality is, here's the truth. These people don't want to mute. Their goal is not to live just alone in their bubble. They want to convert everyone into their bubble. It's not just they have to live in their little safe space. They want everyone to conform and validate their opinions. And so they won't just ignore Paul. They won't just block him. because they want to discredit him. They want to make him look like a villain. They want to try to find some way to make him look bad. Yeah, the knowledge span, 6 games over 20 years, 20 of which are regular expansions. Yeah, I mean, and people are desperately trying to discredit people, and they look like fucking retards. You drop into explore, loot up, shoot enemies, accomplish. That describes like 90% of first person tech. Again, the goal is not to try to, just enjoy Marathon. The goal is to control, conquer, and to, you know what the perfect explanation for these people are? They're the flood. They're parasites. They don't just want to, conquer something. They want to infest. They want to spread their flood germs everywhere. They want to, how in High Charity starts becoming floodified and there's like chunks of pus everywhere. That's what they want to do to Reddit. They want to create a grave mind that all these hive mind individuals are linked together. They don't give a shit about just enjoying the game. They have to convince you to live and think the way they do when it comes to Marathon. And it's so apparent. You could go through and you can just see that these people are literally the flood. They're literal parasites. And just like Master Chief, you gotta take them out, baby. You gotta take them out. Get the shotguns out, like not literally. Just get the internet shotguns and start blasting. And so start blasting. I'm Mr. Gaming Counselor. Hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel for more. As always, the links will be down below, and I'll see you in the next